Hey guys, I'm Tom Rohr, and I've been skating for over 20 years. Skateboarding has drastically changed my life. What better way to give back than to share everything I've learned? I'm here to give you all the details that you need to know to learn tricks as fast and efficiently as possible, and of course make it fun in the process. Every trick has that one tip that you should never forget. Once you know what that is, it's in the bag. Let's get into it. One of the best feelings in the world is landing that first kickflip, but you gotta start somewhere. Step one, it's all in the foot position, just like every other trick. So if you watch my video on how to ollie, the foot position is very important. And if you haven't watched that video, go back and give it a watch, and you'll see how important it is to have your foot in the right place on your tail and how much it can affect whatever trick you're doing. So for kickflips, it's easy to put your foot back on the tail like this, but you wanna have it in the center. Just like for an ollie, you don't want it to hang off the edge, you don't want it on this edge, you want to have all your weight in the center of the tail. It's extremely important. Then for your front foot, it actually looks a lot like an ollie, but obviously you don't want to have your foot as far on the board as an ollie, even though some pros that you see today, they might do that. But when you're learning, you have to have it on the edge a little bit more, because that gives you a little more room to flick and get that foot out there. So you have your back foot in the center of the tail, and your front foot hanging off a little bit more than an ollie. And depending on the length of your legs, depending on the way you skate, you might shift it a little bit more over. You don't want to have it hanging off so far that you can't balance before popping. So you got to figure out the perfect medium for you. Also, you don't want to make sure it's too far forward or too far back. So you have to figure out what works for you in that case, depending on your body shape. But for me, I like to have it right around where my ollie is at. So that's a good reference point. If you know where your foot is for an ollie, just shift it a little bit to do a kickflip. Just like for an ollie, bending down makes a huge difference too. You want to make sure you put all your weight on the ground. If I go like this, nothing's going to happen. I'm not going to be able to get enough force to pop up and flick my board and have enough time for it to flip in the air. You want to bend way down, as much weight as you can push down, like you're pushing into the earth, just like for an ollie. So you want to bend down as far as you can and snap up. And when you snap up, you want to have all your weight on your back foot. That's really important. It's for ollies, for kickflips, for almost any trick. You want to have enough weight on your front foot to where it's holding your board down, but most of your weight before you pop shifts to your back foot, because that's where you're going to be popping and smacking down into the ground. So shift your weight over, bend down, pop, and then flick. And we'll get into that right now. Now that you have the bending down and the popping down, now comes the flick. So when you're flicking, you want to make sure your foot is turning like this. Don't keep it flat, obviously. You want it to turn, because your board's going to be coming up. And you want it just to flick off the edge of the toe like that. See how much of my foot is on the board? Not much, just this little edge, like that. Almost like a 45-degree angle. You don't want to flick too far up on the nose, up here. You don't want to flick too far to the side. And when you're starting off, it's really easy to want to just flick your foot this way, but you want to go up at an angle. That's how you do a correct kickflip. See those marks right there? That's about the angle you're going to want. You flick towards that little pocket in your board. See that little pocket? That's right where you want your toe to go. Boom, off that edge. Also, when you're learning how to kickflip, a nice way to learn how to actually flick your board the right way is to sit on something like this. And it's actually a lot easier. You can kind of get comfortable with the feeling. Like, hold on to whatever it is, do whatever you got to do, and get used to the flick. It's a really good way to get comfortable with flicking your board. All right, so next we're almost ready to start popping our kickflips. But when you do it, one easy mistake to make is to pop and flick too soon. A lot of people want to flick immediately, almost as they're popping their tail, but it actually helps to almost wait a little bit, to give it a little bit of a delay. So to pop up in the air, and almost as you lift off the ground an inch or two, then flick. Just like the ollie, you got to watch those shoulders. Remember, keep those shoulders square. You don't want them turning this way because your board's going to do something crazy. Keep them square, nice and parallel, bend down, and flick. Before you get out there, here are your key takeaways. Keep your back toe in the center of the tail, keep your shoulders square, and flick toward that front pocket. See you in the next tutorial. You!